second. If they win, they tie break or have a tiebreaker with Renegades for a first place spot, which would be against Cloud and Tempest here. So,
and that would be played immediately after this game.
Yeah, have a short break for the teams to recover, and then we get ourselves into that game. Rise, Alistair, Sivir, the typical bans we see. And meanwhile, Nidalee, Fizz, Callista away. Team Coast not allowed those champions.
The one that's the two that are making it through in this champion select that were banned away yesterday are Braum and Azir. They're substituted for, looks like, a Callista and a Sivir.
Yeah, Azir is a... No, I'm looking at the wrong side of this one. I also want to point out, by the way, our overlay is backwards, by the way. It is... no, we got it right. There we go. It was for a second. Yeah, it's backwards, sorry. Cloud and Tempest is actually on the red side here, despite the big borders at the top. You can see, of course, by the tags here. The thing is, it starts with C and ends in T, so it's really easy to forget which one's which.
Yeah, you just change the 9 and the S.
You know, S is the... Oh, no, it's the 19th letter of the alphabet. So if you even, like, turn it in alphanumeric, you just drop a 1, and it even be the same.
In a very convoluted way, you can get there.
Yeah. Either way, it's a random point here, but
That's actually very impressive, though. You're like, it's the 19th letter.
I actually know the position of every letter in the alphabet.
Really?
Yep.
What's M?
13.
Okay. Yeah. So my initials are AZM. So it's the first letter, the last letter, and then
the exact middle.
Tied for middle.
Well, yeah. I mean that and N, 13 or 14. All right. Well, here we go.
Braum?
With your initials, Zirene is your middle name.
No, my middle name is Zukas.
I actually didn't remember that.
Z-U-K-A-S. Yep.
All right. Well, that's a sick name. Braum up. Great. Braum up in the top lane. What? My brain does not work today. Braum picked up for Chris for his support. Conquan's going to play that one for himself. Cloud and Tempest make their own choices here. They got a little bit of time here to make their choices, and it's going to be the Azir coming through. Big champion, and Hard gets that Rek'Sai. The steal away from Shrimp, I think, is really big.
Exactly. The two champions that we saw banned away yesterday, Braum, Azir, picked up in the first rounds for each team. Braum for Coast for Conquan, Azir for Yasui in the mid lane, because they know Peekawolf loves that champion. And then they like to force him onto his other champions, his AP Cog, his Varus. They honestly think that those champions are less mobile than Yasui, or than Azir.
They are literally less mobile
They are
than
less
Azir.
mobile than Azir. So they like to force him on them, because then his positioning errors come out. And when you pick the Rek'Sai away from Shrimp, well, he has to fall back on Nunu, on Evelynn. We saw the Lee Sin from him, and targeting that champion away from him just seems to do wonders. Even yesterday, he won the game, but he was still up 150 CS.
Yeah.
So Shrimp likes to be a huge, just gold, massive stats on this Rek'Sai that you eventually have to deal with. But now it looks like he's not going to go that path. He's going to go with the Nunu here, and that definitely shuts down a lot of his early game pressure.
And this is cool as well because it makes Kog'Maw flex. This is a perfect Juggernaut composition so far, right? You grab a Lulu somewhere in the mid lane or something, and suddenly Kog'Maw is freaking ludicrous here. Braum frontline or Nunu for Blood Boil. You could go either way. Nunu is a decent defensive tank with absolute zero, so you could still play a poke team as well. Just options here for Team Coast, which I do like. I like this champ stack. It's very solid. There's a lot of ways to go with it.
I really want something that reaches this Azir, though, but you pick the AP Kog'Maw, and that's what's going to do it for you.
Right. I don't think you run Assassins here anymore. Kog'Maw does not have the burst, much like AP Ezreal, to make a backline diving team work. You've already got Braum and Nunu. You should not be playing divers here.
You make them come to you now.
Right, absolutely. And so this means if you did play AP Kog, it means things like Tristana, because then you have the offensive siege pressure to say you've really got to come to us or your base dies, which is why I think part of why we're seeing more Trist is she fits these siege mids and the poke mids much better, and that compositionally it's a good pickup there.
Well, she has a disengage on her too.
Right. I mean, like all these things are really good reasons. It's more the reason why Tristana is such a good siege. She's got disengage. She's got self peel. She's got all these things. So might work for her. Or again, maybe it's Juggernaut and we see Lubin mid, something like that.
That's true.
Always a possibility. Karma mid. I actually like Karma mid a lot as well. Meanwhile, Cloud and Tempest, though, picking up a couple more champions, and I'm surprised they actually grabbed the Rumble. I know Rumble's a first pick worthy champion sometimes, but it's clearly not that important here, so I'm surprised they rushed that. They could have gone for a counter pick top lane. Looks like support Andy is almost definitely the pickup here, and they're actually saving AD carry for last, looking for the lane matchup.
Okay, they grab the Andy for the hard engage to get to the Kog'Maw, and then it just looks like it's all around team fighting. They want to have a Wombo in here on C9T's side. Yeah. They might go with a Jinx. They might go with something that adds to that Wombo. That's what I'm expecting, because you want to have multi-threats on this, because you already have a Rumble top. You want to have another AD carry threat, something with high damage output physically.
You know what I want to see, actually? I want to see a Azir bot lane. I want to see a Zir in a duo lane as like the AD carry slot, so you can run like a Zir Orianna. It fits the role of a marksman, I think, really well. It sounds weird, but I want to see it happen at some point down the line.
Maybe on live, because he's got the attack speed bonus at level 1, so that your laning's a little easier. Because laning is extremely important to, to AD carries.
Yeah. So it's a random pipe dream. Either way, though, got the Riven. Finally, been waiting for so long to get to cast Western Riven players.
That one's probably for you.
Well, it's the mashup, though. Like, for like 3 months straight, it's been like Riven is good in a Rumble. Riven can beat up Rumble. And Team Coast, by the way, they could practically rebrand themselves as Team Chris, because he so often dumpsters top lane, crushes it in like hard carries game. Like, they won against Renegades because Chris carried them on Rise. He had a good lane matchup, won his lane, snowballed, split pushed, won the team fights for him, and now they gave him a good lane matchup. I do think this sets up Coast really well. I think he's the biggest X factor for the team. If he does well, the team wins.
Exactly. And when he does not so well, then they're just gonna crumble. Like yesterday, 0-3-3, 1 KDA for him on that Rumble.
Yeah.
Not gonna walk back to that one. He goes for the Riven.
Help Mash. That's the problem, right?
Exactly.
He needed to do well in the matchup. So.
Now he's a big threat himself. He's got peel. He's able to just dive the backline himself if they do want to go for that route.
Yeah.
But oh man, if you get poked out,
he's got a split push.
You get poked out by a Kog'Maw, and then you're always afraid of Riven's execute. It's just a terrible place to be. You feel awful about life because it's about to end when that Riven walks up.
And this is, I think, the right way to build a poke team comp. Is your top laner is on its own. He's there to find the lane matchup that he wants. He's there to be a split push threat and pull attention so that one of these two Siege teams end up working. Now, Cloud and Tempest, though, their last pick ends up being Graves, which I think fits the comp absolutely. I talked about Azir and Orianna being on the same team, but essentially it's everyone going in, right? Annie's the primary engage. Rek'Sai has follow-up, and then you've got so much burst. Azir, Rumble, Graves blow people up.
Yeah, I like that. He's just going to layer it on top. Really good here. It's pretty easy to execute.
Very easy.
But it's all on Sheep's shoulders. Can he get the right engage? Can he start it off on the right foot and actually lock up the Kog'Maw? You missed the Kog'Maw. What other tools have you got to actually get to him?
Pretty much none. It's pretty much on that or the massive outplay by Yasui. So as the teams load into the game, we want you to tell us how you think this game is going to go. Tweet hashtag CST win or hashtag C9T win to @LOL Esports. We'll check the vote in a couple of minutes into this game. Coast playing to keep the hope of a first place seed in the playoffs alive. Cloud and Tempest looking to show that they're awesome because we know they're fourth. We know what they're going to be up to. This is a very scary team. And also, this is, they've started boot camping. This is C9T looking to show up. If they can 2-0 Coast, that is a statement win.
I have a lot of empathy for C9T. If they're playing just to look awesome, I do that all the time in solo queue. I'm down for that. Hashtag awesome win.
Watch it get more votes than hashtag C9T win, and it just screws all the metrics. We'll have a 3-colored win vote.
Third color would be green.
I'm gonna go with white.
White.
So it could be the color of America.
I was going with red, blue, green.
Yeah, it's fun. Yep.
Because it is the North American Challenger Series. We can't. Some people are Canadian.
Canadian flag is red and white.
Yeah, but it's not blue.
Too late.
Too late. Too late.
There's already a blue team. Like, what do you want from me? To be fair, if you just approach red really fast, it becomes blue.
If you approach red?
Like if you run so fast, you're seeing the wavelengths shorten.
Ah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
I forget the name of it.
It's some guy's name, right? They always name it after some guy. I have no idea.
Is the Bernoulli effect that one, or is it the air over like planes wings thing? It's one of the two. I forget which.
We don't know these things. I'm a psychology student.
You don't know science.
Can we talk about Freud?
You're a jungler. You're not smart.
I am not smart in that sense. I don't need to perceive colors in the jungle. I need to be in the minds of my opponents. Psychology.
Psychology.
Yes.
What is Shrimp thinking right now?
Oh, man. He's thinking, I hope Chris gives me a good leash. We double jungle for a little bit. Then I pick up my blue. Then I just make the other jungler as useless as I am because I'm new. I'm assuming Shrimp is going to run into their jungle, get into their opponent's head. That's what he's thinking. I'm in Shrimp's head, and he's getting into his opponent's head.
That's wrong, because it's all in Korean in his head.
What language do deaf people and What language does a deaf blind person think in?
I don't know. That's interesting.
Because they wouldn't know language.
That's a probably unanswerable question.
Blowing your mind. Right?
They can still read Braille, by the way.
Yeah, but would that mean they think in dots?
Sure, why not? Meanwhile, by the way, a fight in the bot lane. Bit of damage dealt. Yeah, right? Like, you could just have a conversation with one of them in Braille. And they could just put the blocks out and tell you what it looks like to them. Like, you could totally just have a conversation and find that one out. So, not unanswerable. We could find out. I'm sure there's an answer out there somewhere, actually.
What if they had no arms?
We can ask other people that, though, the ones who have arms. Or you use your legs or some body part. Either way, we are into a game, of course, here. These are two of the playoff teams in the North American Challenger Series. Peek and Wolf pushed into his turret. No surprise here. AP Cog lanes are pretty fragile. Shrimp, though, still playing the farm. He has not gotten any counter jungling done yet. He's still going through his first jungle clear. We might see him invade later on. And of course, hard on that Rek'Sai. One of the more counter jungle resistant champions. Takes a Tremor Sense. Takes down top Scuttle. And actually has a number of wards that already track Nunu trying to run to the right-hand side jungle. So they know Shrimp has not invaded that side. And it actually allows time for Hard to place more deep trinkets. He's got one down by the Gromp, and he takes it away himself. So Shrimp is actually being kind of held down right now. And they actually know Shrimp is also near bot lane via process of elimination. So
I like this, though, because Shrimp was new to the jungling scene. He came in from, or new to the North American jungling scene, because he came in from Korea as a solo queue guy who was just wrecking the ladder. He was high up there. He's over here now, and people were trying to nail down what his tendencies were. How does he like to play? What is his champion pool? And now that we're on the final game of the regular season, people have kind of figured him out a little bit. He wants to counter jungle, so the way to fight that style, take the scuttles as much as you can. Keep tabs on him, go into his jungle, essentially trade him camps and ward up his jungle while you're in there, and then just keep tabs on him forever. If you let up Shrimp, he's just going to take your jungle back. But that's the thing. If you get one of his champions, and look at this, Hard's going to go in here, he's going to find him. What's up?
He's not going to find him just in time. He fights the battle.
Zir's here, though.
Oh, this could be really risky. Yasui could land the knockup, gets it there. Shrimp's got to be real careful. AP Cog is here to defend him. Peek and Wolf is going to let him out. Successful steal on the Raptors.
That's the thing is Shrimp, you're always going to be able to figure out where he is looking at his tendencies. This guy is not that multi-dimensional, especially when he's on champion like Nunu. He's a very active jungler, though. I will give him that. Is you can always expect him to be active, and if you lose pace against him, he will overtake you.
And we'll see if that happens right here, of course. Losing pace against the counter jungler just feels so bad. It's so hard to catch back up.
He doesn't even care. He's going straight to the Raptors. He saw that Hard hadn't purchased the jungle item yet, and the opportune time to go into his jungle again.
Too. Smites the Wolves is actually very important now because it makes sure that he can track this bottom jungle the rest of the way through. He knows Rek'Sai's not heading down. He knows that's totally safe. This Gromp is entirely his. He knows top jungle just got cleared as well, so there's nothing now for Hard to do except gank a lane. And this is where you say, hey, he's probably heading top.
Well, Shrimp, though, he has multiple options now. He can go bottom towards that lane, look for a small gank, because they keep shoving them into turret. But there's actually nothing for Hard to really farm in the top half of this jungle.
He's going to get Dragon. Get 3 points consumed here. The bot lane's heavily pushed. They know Rek'Sai's not bottom lane. They know that there's some ward coverage, and I think he could have solo Dragon them. 3 points consumed. That's just yours, right?
Yeah. Especially since you have the healing smite. He didn't have it up yet, though.
Unless Yasui Hard was like, gonna fight him, but that you have to guess at that point.
He'd already used his pink ward on the blue buff, too. Which I don't 100% agree with that pink ward, because I think it's great, but it's deep. He likes the deeper wards. It's been the tendency that we've seen from him.
If his bot lane can stay pushed, though, they can guarantee, like, oh, okay, blue buff respawn right now, we're here, we're ready to fight you, and their bot lane can help make sure that happens. Just depends on the item time as everyone else. So far, the top lane matchup, Riven versus Rumble, though it is called a counter pick for Riven's favor. Right now, CS is tied. Double Longsword versus the
Seeker's Armguard. Yep.
It's interesting because it does, even though Chris might not win the lane matchup, it forces Solo into a suboptimal item build. He is not getting the Leandry's rush here.
Yeah, he's building for the lane, and he's not building for that mid-game team fight.
Whereas Chris can still build for the team fight.
Exactly.
Still build for the normal combat strategy buys.
It feels a little strange as a Rumble when you have to delay your Sork shoes and you're haunting guys, because then you show up to that Dragon fight at 10 minutes, 12 minutes, and you don't have that penetration to just destroy the AD carry, and your damage output takes a little bit of a dip against the squishies.
So the pink ward ends up being useless. An easy pickup now for Yasui, and hard, even a good defensive trick to make sure it was safe. Oh, he taxed it. What a jerk. Solo jumped on by Chris here. Yeah, a lot of damage coming through. One more hit.
Nope.
And he's not going to go for the flash auto.
Oh, Chris should have taken Ignite. No TP top of Rhythm. But yeah, you should always actually take TP. It's so exploitable. As soon as they see that, they lane swap on you, and then you can't really do a whole bunch about it.
No. So Solo's going to have to TP probably back to the top lane here. Ult to clear the wave. More siege damage to the bot lane, really getting chunked out, and we just see that Sheep and Lud can't get in. Before they really buy attack damage items, they just can't break through.
Well, they're also level 6 over the level 5 of bot lane here of C9T.
Here we go.
If they get them before they hit that level, they're not going to have it.
Last Q, Lod has nowhere to go. He is sure to die. The TP's going to come in. Conquan with heal running away. First blood comes through. Absolute Zero buys a little bit of time, and Shrimp holds aggro. Exhaust on a solo, gets away in time. A double kill for Mash. Perfectly played tower dive, but Shrimp's going to die for this one.
Oh, Chris, he's looking for more. He got knocked up.
He got knocked up. Has to flash right back out, though. Hard did flash to get the knockup. A trade of teleports, but a nice set of kills coming through for Coast.
Exactly. Coast, they had orchestrated that from the start. They knew that the TPs were going to come in. They had them available, and that had to be the reaction there from C9T. 2 for 1, but they lose the turret. And the fact that they were winning that bottom lane in CS on Mash's side, they had chunked them out a little bit. They'd gotten the turret low. It was just a perfect storm. Also, Shrimp being on that side of the jungle, too.
Yep. So there's a very small window with Coast recalling second that C9T could rush Dragon. Yasui's got lane pressure. Their Grave's going to be here first, but no, it's C9T preempting the expected lane moves. You talked about the fact that Tristana will often go to the other lane once she knocks the turret down. C9T have sent Graves up there presumably to match the matchup, but it's not going to exist, and it's going to be Coast having the map control to take away a Dragon.
Hard's going to try to steal away this blue buff. No wards. They know he's nearby, though. Oh.
Shrimp has Smite.
But Beacon.
Has to grab a Beacon buff, has denied this, but Card, stunned just across the wall, but here comes Chris. This could be so good for Coast. He's going to land a lot of damage. He's not going to have the follow-up. The nice slow by Yasui. Oh, just getting Beacon buff, lands the slow. Lands the ulti, nearly gets Sheep, but no, the ulti from Yasui keeps them all alive. The invade makes the blue buff not
so close. If Beacon Wolf had had that blue buff, those would have been his kills. He would have had enough mana to throw another R out.
Well, it's still going to be enough lane pressure though to knock down mid lane outer turret though. So second turret picked up. Chris was actually able to keep the top lane afloat, and this could and should be Dragon for Coast.
Yeah, regardless of not getting those kills, they get the mid turret. It's still money in the bank. They get to go towards the Dragon, and they get to pick this one up for themselves. You do see Solo hanging off on the side here though. And this is the Dragon fight I'm talking about. He doesn't have his Sork shoes. He's looking a little bit towards his haunted guys, but they want to fight here.
Ooh, that was a bit close. Lug gets a lot of damage down. Conquan trying to stay alive, jumps the wall, and he gets away. Shrimp is a sacrifice, puts on the Barbie. Still down he goes.
Puts on the Barbie.
Put on the Barbie. I added an S on accident.
Shrimp put on the Barbie. Just throw him on the Barbie there. He was selfless.
He was selfless.
Sacrificed himself there for Conquan, for the greater good.
Well, guys, objectives are all Coast right now. All 3 outer turrets are gone. The only Dragon of the game is theirs as well. And if they can match up in these lanes, Coast can prevent more turrets from dying. Basically, none have taken any damage except for this mid lane here. So there was very little that C9T are likely to be able to do about this. But the thing to keep in mind is, even though the matchups were bad, Lod now has BF Sword. So Annie Graves can one-shot the AD carry at any time.
You have to watch out, though. Conquan can always just stop that with Exhaust and just being Braum.
If he's there in time.
Yes.
Mash pretty much needs a babysitter here, which actually makes situations kind of awkward because normally when these turrets go down, the support wants to roam a lot more. The AD carry can just become a semi-split pusher till you group for objectives. But this actually hinders Braum's abilities quite a bit, that he has to be somewhat around. He has to make sure he can track Annie from the threat of Sheep and Lod doing things. So just a very small thing that Coast have to watch out for. Should be fine. They're up 3,000 gold already, which is a massive lead this early.
So Conquan walked over a pink ward. Hopefully they know there's one in that tri-brush. Walked straight past it.
Yep.
Oh well, he'll wrap back around for it. There's 3 people top, though, from C9T side.
That means Chris has to be careful. He's going to go in for the fight, but careful, Annie's right there. But gets so far away, there's not even a chance of killing him.
He immediately moved out after the first Q. 1 charge of Broken Wings to go in, and then the rest to go out.
Well done. Well done by Chris. Up 8 CS in his matchup. Solo did get a kill in the previous fight. He had killed Shrimp after the Dragon pickup, so helps Solo a little bit here, who's on Seeker's Arm Guard plus the Haunting guys. So delayed on the route up towards Leanders, but still on the way. Quick Merc treads for Chris for the lane matchup as well as team fights. And he's going towards, I believe, Brutalizer into Black Cleaver as the Riven build here. So no Tiamat. Or Hydra, obviously.
Jungle control, name of the game for Shrimp again.
It's his second blue buff in a row. Good steal, prevents C9T from getting it. Yusui says, hey guys, aww. Well, never mind.
Wonder how they react if they actually contest the blue buff again on Coast's side.
How can you? They're down 3,500 gold, and Coast are just in complete control here.
Crazy.
Keep in mind, if Renegades were trying today, Coast are far and away the best team in Challenger right now.
They're only up about 3,000 at 13 minutes. This is what we saw Renegades at.
Yeah, and then Renegades couldn't close out for a long time.
So let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
All right, all right. I like making grand predictions, but you're right. This is too soon to make this kind of statement. But
sorry,
but this
I don't mean to just be
no,
like, no.
I mean, but you're right. You're right. There's no reason to be alarmist.
As soon as they get another 1,000, I'll be on your train, though.
All right. We're gonna look for 4K, like Grubby. C9T still has an old school reference. Conquan still getting the wards down, but that's actually a pretty crappy ward. Doesn't mean a whole lot, but
like you said, though, this is the game where all 3 outer turrets are down. Now the hard part comes. You have to get these wards down. Shrimp with his Sightstone alongside Conquan. They're just grouping up and trying to get vision control of this side of the jungle. And then they might transition to the other side. They're waiting for them here, though.
yeah.
Shrimp is going to face check. Sheep's there for the stun.
They're not even going to burn the cooldown. No, it's a weird thing by Coast, by the way, because they got too far ahead too soon. Essentially, Peek and Wolf doesn't have his Luden's Echo yet. And that's like when Kog'Maw becomes a useful champion. And so you've got this Tristana who's like, I want to knock turrets down, guys. I've got my core damage, but I've got attack speed. I'm ready to go. And Peek and Wolf is like, give me like 1,000 gold, and I'll be with you here in this one. So it's just like weird, like the parts of the comp aren't lining up just yet. But the blue buff has just respawned, so Coast's gonna get blue. They've got level 11 almost on this Kog'Maw. He's gonna have Luden's Echo.
Nope.
No, he goes Ryle's on the recall.
He wants the 40% slow ultimate.
So he doesn't want the like one and done poke, he wants the follow-up damage. That is interesting.
I mean, I like Ryle's a lot on Kog'Maw.
Yeah.
As in, I appreciate it, not when I'm playing against it.
Yeah.
It is annoying.
You find it powerful.
There you go. I find it strong. The 40% slow just allows you to so much follow-up and landing more of your abilities, which is essentially the Kog'Maw problem is aiming your abilities. They're so powerful and they're loaded with such a great hit, but landing the hit is the problem of Kog'Maw.
Yeah, sure. Well, Chris starting to feel the pressure. Solo did go double Magic Pen, so no Leandry's rush. Just the flat pen, I assume, for the matchup itself. Leandry's wouldn't help as much against Riven as the flat pen would. So Solo still wants to survive that battle. A couple of slows, a good ulti on towards Conquan. Peekin' up with the 2-man Timberst on Peekin. Flash cleanses out. And they will survive this one. Here comes the reverse poke. Leandry's
Mashes, what?
Wow, a bit aggressive there. Maybe more than he needed. Overestimated his damage by a lot.
Still, here comes Chris.
And this could be all kinds of scary. Can he get into this fight? This could be a whitewash ult. He nearly kills off Yusui. That was close. And it's C9T running away. Dragon is up, and it's going to be Coast's securely. Coast's second Dragon at 17 minutes. They could definitely, if they wanted to, play for Dragon 5 as a long road to victory. but now they got turret damage. Big for Trist.
And there was about 10 seconds before the Dragon was up, and a large portion of C9T were sitting on top of a ward. Coast saw that engage coming. They walked up to it, they allowed it to happen, and they had to blow a lot to get out. The cleanse, the flash from the Kog'Maw, the flash from Braum on Conquan, and then the TP at the same time. So now TP advantage goes over to C9T, and C9T didn't get to use Emperor's Divide. Azir didn't get to flash in. MASH played man mode, and he didn't get punished for it.
That's true.
It's very risky. That could have turned out way worse for Coast.
Speaking of risky, Shrimp playing aggressively in the jungle. He's not going to get caught out for this one. Chris is defending him in this tri-brush. There's the ward by Solo, and it will give them the room to knock these down. 3 members top lane here for Cloud and Tempest. And yeah, you mentioned that previous team fight. A lot burned to get away from that fight. Coast have to play defensively for the next 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And they can just wave clear under turret, like it's fine. They're not going to be really burned for this, but they have to play safe because a flashless, cleanseless Kog'Maw is a very risky champion to have.
Yeah, and I said it could have gone worse for Coast. It also could have gone way worse for C9T. Sure. And both teams walked away. One used a little bit more in terms of important cooldowns, but C9T, it looks like they're just ready to fight again. They have the
Oh my god! He had Ludens, he was dead.
He's dead.
He's dead anyway. Oh! Yeah, Shrimp doing his best Rush impression. Flash snowball. First kill of the game for him.
And then a slap to her face. The last hit.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, you know, this is what happens since
Blue.
the 5.13 AP item changes. The way these mid laners are going to build is going to change a little bit throughout time.
But it always shows me what the person values, just personality-wise, too. Do you value the damage in this comp, Peek and Wolf? No. I'm going to be a peel bot. I know I'm not the big star of this team. We have Chris, who's a large damage dealer. We have MASH, who is a big shot caller on the team.
And very far ahead.
And he's far ahead, exactly. So Peek and Wolf is just going to go for the utility here.
It hurts his wave, interestingly. Just a little bit. It doesn't matter too much. Looks like he's going to be fine. C9T able to play the defense game. The mid lane Azir turret doesn't mean
I like it, though.
bad things. 5,000 gold, by the way. Coaster getting really freaking far ahead.
Yeah. I like it because Chris is just going to split push top lane. He's going to cause as much pressure as possible. You don't really need too much wave clear, but the thing is Peek and Wolf is going to be in a lot of these team fights. And C9T have shown they want to team fight. They're going to wombo combo. That's what their team comp is all about.
Yeah. And the bonus health, of course, helps keep you alive against the Annie combo. So the bonus 400 HP definitely matters here. Yeah, I think this is a situationally correct build, which I'm glad is the way you play League of Legends. Like, offensive itemization is so hard to get right sometimes because offensive itemization is it's sort of a one-player system. There's just a correct way to do the math and have the optimal damage. And so the defensive aspects and the situational aspects are the ones you have to react to. And the fact that the offensive items are so close together in offensive tower means you do have the ability to make your choices. And yeah, I think this is a good set of choices here. Yep. My Peek and Wolf.
Look at utility, look at the comp, say, this is the situation, I want this item, and that's how I'm going to play it.
Yeah. It does mean Peek and Wolf does not have the move speed that Ludens would give him. That can definitely matter.
He'll get it
kite as well.
Eventually.
Yeah, of course he will.
But at this point in the game, he's just worried about kiting. And this is actually a very frustrating build to play against first item. A lot of people don't even have boots 2 just yet.
Yeah.
So you get to kite them around even harder than before.
Chris still playing the split push game, up 40 CS right now, and some of that is like really high gold gromps and whatnot. It's worth more than a cannon, so still hard to deal with. We sit at a 5,000 gold game. Peek and Wolf summoners are back up, and Dragons at 145. Cloud and Tempest, they have the engaged team, but they didn't have a flash from Sheep until just about now. He's now got a Sorcerer Boot, so now that flash cooldown will desync against the Kog'Maw, against the Ribbon.
You got to watch out, because Shrimp looks like he might have his eyes on the Baron, too. With the Nunu and the Max to consume.
Oh, sure.
Riven's just going to split push. Has the TP available. He split pushes
that's why
bottom
you sent bottom lane, exactly. When your TP is bottom lane, it means the team wants Baron. When your TP is top lane, it means your team wants Dragon.
Yeah, it's actually 3 points consumed for Shrimp, so he doesn't have the max.
He stopped
consume.
at 3. Okay.
He's got the max snowball going for him.
Yep. Yeah, he learned consume, got 3 points by 5, then he's max snowball. Okay, so that's the build. The attack speed slow will hurt both Azir and the Graves. That's actually a pretty big deal here. We'll see what else they can do. Chris still playing really heavy farm-based League of Legends. Upgraded Trinket to keep the wards up. He's got help from the double sight stone. Both Nunu and Braum have those.
Chris just looks very dominant on this champion. I know this is one of his favorite best solo queue champions, but he looks like he has great control and mastery of it.
Oh, definitely.
The way he's going over the battlefield, he also has distortion very early on, like was mentioned.
Yeah.
To get himself into these fights more often.
Yep.
I'm hoping for just an explosive fight. He's gotten a lot of his ultimates off. His Wind Slash is just barely, almost killing somebody. It's happened about 2 or 3 times now.
And there's the Black Cleaver done for Chris. So, no lifesteal build. Maybe that's going to be next. He's got the Longsword in. Could be Last Whisper, could be Tiamat, could be almost anything. Could even be Trinity Force. Unlikely, though. Dragon is alive. Number 3 on the table. A lot of money in a lot of pockets, by the way. Neither the 80 carry nor Millionaire have bought in a long time. 2,000 gold on Peek and Book. 1,000 on Mash. If Coast or C9T had a good recall timing, they would be matched in gold for this impending Dragon fight. It looks like C9T just going to roll over on this one. Easy pickup here for Shrimp and Mash. Dragon number 3, clean pickup. And we're still sitting at the stagnant 5,000 gold game.
This is cool, because what's going to happen is Shrimp is going to clear out some wards here for Chris. He might place some new ones and keep him safe, because these are about to time out. And that's going to allow Chris to keep up his split push.
But he's not making progress is the thing. Like, Coast are playing the slow roll Dragon game, and it's why I mentioned it. And this is such a good ward as well. Solo.
Yeah, he wasn't able to get it.
Oh, where are they kind of matching? He's going to go for it anyway. Oh my god, Solo does have a Zhonya's. Can he outplay the Wind Slash? He flashes and doesn't Zhonya's it. What? If you're going to flash, just pop Zhonya's instead.
He almost died there.
Yeah.
If he had popped Zhonya's in place, though, Chris would have just had time to get his Q back.
Then Zhonya's after, right? Like.
Well, he calculated the damage.
So. Sure he did. Sure he did.
He ended up being fine.
Well, Yasui, though, God, the chain slow. Jumps over the wall. Nice mechanics there.
Now I have to back. But they lose top turret here on Coast's side. Chris, now Solo.
Chris pulled aggro. Solo does have Zhonya's. Pops it at a very good time. Oh, the mistimed Q from Chris, but it's still going to be the kill. No chance at all. Shrimp is too tanky. Not even an armor item to his name, but bottom lane tier 2 is going to go down. You got the top lane turret. Rats for you, C9T. But a bigger lead now for Coast. Chris got ahead. Coast are playing around Chris, and it's working.
Yeah, one of the things about Nunu that people don't always take into account is he just gets so much health. He has that passive where if he consumes a golem, he gets bonus HP. So he's able to actually be about 3,000 HP already in the game. He has more than, he has more than anybody else in the game.
Yep.
And what you can do on Nunu is buy just Sightstone, buy a Locket, buy Warmogs, and you're tanky against pretty much everything in the game.
That's true.
You get to be super annoying.
Sounds like Nunu.
Yeah.
Super annoying. Pretty much appropriate here. 1, 2, and 3. 100% kill participation from this Nunu jungle. He's been on all the dragons. He's stolen a couple buffs away. It's been a very solid game for Shrimp here. But another siege attempt for Cloud and Tempest. They had knocked down top outer already. Mid lane outer in a bad spot as well.
I also believe that bonus HP from the Golem is further increased by Cinderhulk.
Should be.
So
with bonus health.
Nunu has only been getting stronger.
Oh, flash engage. They catch Pikachu. Clay flashes out, and there's the big knockup hard. He loses a lot of health. So does Sheep. The Tristana ulti's going to do enough damage for Shrimp to get the kill. 2 picked up already. Yasui's got to run. Flashes. Crit hits, though. 3 in a row for Mash.
Mash, he died 5 times yesterday. More than his entire season combined. He'd only died 3 times in the entire season. And now he's saying, hey, I'm 4-0 again. It's going to be a much safer game for us. Looking to take the Baron at 26 minutes for Team Coast.
Oh, nice block there by Quan. Thank you very much. Baron Nashor is ours, and a complete whitewash so far. Team Coast incredibly far ahead, 10K up at 26 minutes.
And Chris got some work done in the bottom lane. Now he has even more split push pressure as well with the Baron buff on him. So he's going to be a huge threat. And if you just look at the items across the pond from him, there's only a Zhonya's and double 10. Nice from Pika Wolf there. He did not get knocked up from hard and was completely safe after that. Really great collapse. And then the crit, and the crit.
Yep, he had 45% crit chance at that time in the game. He hadn't finished PD yet. He got just enough there. C9T have been unable to get back into this game. They've only found engages on Phreak and Wolf, but only when his cleanse and flash were up, so he never got picked off here. Oh. Sheep in a real bad spot. Nowhere to go. They make sure Mash gets the kill.
The flash auto Q onto Sheep.
Yeah.
Make sure that he's stunned after that. Now they're just going to collapse. They're going to go top looking for Laud. They're going to get his flash for it, but they're going to get a turret afterwards.
Chris, got to be a little bit careful. Challenging Smite used by Hard. Kind of early, though. Challenging Smite literally did nothing there. It's not Stalker's Blade, bro. It doesn't have an effect on its own.
Yeah, the only thing it does is give vision in the rush. That's it.
Oh, yeah, it does reveal.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter, you're Rek'Sai. Yeah,
you know where she's going. Swallow to the wave clear by Laud gets slowed. Good luck with your life bar.
Good luck with your life bar. That's how I'll start every game from now on.
Chris on the chase towards Solo. Can he get the outplay going? He gets himself silenced up. He's going to pump the gun to stay alive. Goodbye. Kills across the map. This game is all but over already. Team Coast sub 30 minutes into the base on 2 different lanes.
It was an hour-long game yesterday. Coast went back to the drawing board and said, you know what? Once we get an advantage, we aren't going to squander it. We're going to just close the game. 28 minutes.
Yep, Shrimp did a good job of ganking for Crystal Lane, just enough to make the turret dives work. 28-30, Coast are going to win this game. 8-2, their record for the regular season. We are going to have a tiebreaker for first place between Coast and Renegades.
To see who plays Imagine and who plays C9T. Yeah. After that performance, Coast look like they're probably fine to play C9T.
Yeah. I mean, game 1, they were winning by so much, keep in mind. They were up massive amounts. They didn't quite close it out. The comp didn't quite work for them. I guess the hard engage did go through and they couldn't stay alive, and it just felt like Phreak and Wolf didn't quite respect the engages that could have come out over in that first game on his Varus. This time around, plays much more safely. Chris even further unlocked a split push. And the fact that, here's the thing, Riven, like, melee split pushers, it is very hard to kill tier 2 turrets.
Yeah.
You have to commit yourself, you're in range, you cannot fight back because you'd pull aggro, and so it is hard to be like a Singed or Riven, knock these turrets down. So Shrimp, for like 4 minutes straight, ensures ward control, comes around, and gets the turret dive, and says, no, you're going to die, Rumble. We get this fight, we get this knockdown. Chris is unlocked. And it was a very well-controlled game for Coast.
Yeah, Chris didn't even get that much damage off. He's 2-0-1 at the end of the game. Lowest kill participation on his team. Phreak and Wolf 0-0-5. This Kog'Maw didn't even get kills. He's just poking people off of objectives.
Yeah.
And then the main person front and center seemed to be Mash, Kongquan, and Shrimp.
Yeah. That was the core crew that went around and made things happen. Kog'Maw played the defensive wave clear game. Chris played the aggressive split push game, but it was all controlled, it all had the vision, and it just felt like C9T couldn't find a way in. Maybe they could have killed Riven. She had Merc treads, so it's going to be hard, and she's Riven, obviously it's difficult. Kog'Maw obviously played towards the back, but just there never seemed to be a way in for Cloud9 Tempest. They never got a split push to work, they never got a siege to work, never got picks to work.
Well, they're a team fighting team comp.
Yeah.
Right? They want to just snowball all over your team, and then when they jumped in and they had those fights, Coast actually won the fight, and then they took more afterwards.
Yeah.
As C9T were licking their wounds and retreating back to their base, Coast like, okay, we have dragon position.
Yeah.
We can get this dragon. So I like that they were able to kind of, after they had a victory, take even more off of it and capitalize. They took
very solid.
Even if it was just jungle camps. That's what I love about Shrimp is they win a fight. He's like, oh, I won Grump. He takes everything that he gets, everything he can get, just falls into his hands, and he's just having a really good presence inside the Challenger Series.
I agree. There's 2 things to talk about with that one. One is Nunu often has very little farm, but he was plus 25 over hard that game. The other, there were actually a couple of small misplays. I mentioned it. For Dragon 3, Coast did not recall in time. 2,000 gold on Kog'Maw, 1,500 gold on Tristana, and they didn't recall for items. That was a timing that C9T could have abused, recalled in time for Dragon, and didn't. That was a misplay that I will point out as something that C9T could have improved and taken that fight, because with gold in the pockets, it equalizes the gold lead because you actually have items and they don't. That would have been one small thing that maybe the game goes differently if they played it correctly. Either way, we'll see if that happens in the playoffs. We have to take one more quick break, and that's going to be okay because we have a bonus game. Next up, it is the tiebreaker between Team Coast and Renegades for first place. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be awesome.
Bonus games.
Bonus
games. Bonus games.
Bonus game.
Bonus game.
Bonus
One
game.
game.
No S.
Bonus game. Bonus game. I love bonus.
Aggro. Exhaust on a solo gets away in time. A double kill for MASH.
Getting stronger.
Oh, flash engage. They catch Pikachu. Flashes out, and there's a big knockup hard. Gonna lose a lot of health. So does Sheep. The Tristana ulti's gonna do enough damage.
Boom.
Goodbye. Kills across the map. This game is all but over.